The first passive income idea is by investing in dividend-paying stocks. This is a type of true passive income. So some of the biggest companies in the world trade on the stock market. And you, as an investor, as a regular person, have the opportunity to be one of the owners of these big companies by investing in their stocks on the stock market. Now, some of these big companies will have a lot of cash in their bank account at the end of the year, and there's three things that they can do with this cash. They can save some of this cash for emergencies, they can invest this cash back into their company, or they can reward their shareholders, you, the investor, by just giving you a check. This passive income that a company pays you is called a dividend, and most companies that pay a dividend pay out their dividend every 3 months. So if you invest in a dividend-paying company, every 3 months or so, you are going to get some cash deposited into your account for doing nothing except owning a company that pays a dividend. Not every company pays a dividend, so this is something you got to do a little bit of research on, because the companies that typically pay dividends are your bigger and more mature companies, because these are companies that don't want to invest all their cash back into their company because they're already big, they're already mature, they're already established, and so when they have all this extra cash in their bank account at the end of the year, they just distribute this to their shareholders, their investors, people like you who own the stock, and that way you can get your dividend without doing anything except just owning the stock. I'll give you a quick example of what I mean. So Verizon pays out a dividend, and at the time of me recording this video, Verizon's dividend is $2.51 a share, which is right around a 4.5% yield. So if you went out and you spent $100 buying the Verizon stock, after 1 year, they will give you $4.50 in passive income. This is purely passive income. You don't got to do anything except just own the stock, and that is in addition to you owning the stock. So if the stock price goes up, that's icing on the cake, because this dividend is something they give you just for owning the stock. Some other popular dividend-paying stocks include McDonald's, which is paying out a 2.5% yield, IBM, which is paying around a 5.5% yield, DTE, which is paying around a 3.5% yield, and 3M, which is paying out about a 3.3% dividend yield at the time of me recording this video. The last thing that I want to mention about dividends is the amount of dividends that you're getting from a company does change. Like if a company makes more money, which is the goal, then the amount of dividend that you're getting will hopefully go up. But if a company starts to struggle, then you could see your dividend go down. Number 2, invest in rental properties. This is one of my favorite ways to generate passive income. The way this works is, let's say you go out and you buy a house for $100,000. Now, instead of you living in the house yourself, you would rent this house out to somebody else, another family, and this family would live in your house, and they would pay you rent for, let's say, $1,000 a month every single month for them living in your home. The great thing about this is once you own this house, once you own this asset, you don't got to do any physical work to continue getting paid, because now these people that are living in your home are going to have to pay you every single month for living in your property. So once you own the asset, the home, now this home is going to continue producing cash flow as long as you have people living there. The thing about real estate investing, I'll tell you from personal experience, is in the beginning, it is not going to be passive. You have this kind of like hurdle that you have to jump over to understand how real estate investing works. But once you get over the hurdle, real estate investing can be completely passive, because you can pass on all of your day-to-day duties to a property management company. A property management company's job is to essentially handle all the day-to-day stuff with managing a rental property. They will find you tenants. They will qualify your tenants. They will do the background check, their credit check, screen them and approve them and put them into your property. Then once the tenant is in the property, your property manager's job will be to make sure your tenant pays, make sure they pay on time. If there are fines, to make sure they assess them, to make sure the property is taken care of, to make sure the property bills are paid, to make sure property taxes are paid, and to make sure all the work, if there's work that comes up, is taken care of. That way all you got to do is collect the checks. Again, it takes a little bit of work to get there, but once you get there, real estate can be completely passive. Investing in rental properties, real estate, does take more capital, but it's a great way for you to invest your money and own a physical asset that's paying you with passive income. 3, put your savings into a high interest savings account. Most traditional banks are paying you next to nothing on your savings. So if you save your cash at Bank of America or Chase or one of these big traditional banks, chances are your savings account is giving you nothing, no matter how much money you have sitting there. But thanks to the internet, there's been this growth of online banks which will pay you a much better return on your savings than you're going to get in one of these traditional banks, because these online banks don't have the same retail presence. They don't have to pay for rent, they don't have to pay for tellers, they don't have to pay for utilities at all these physical locations, and so they can reward you with a higher interest rate on your savings. The reputable online banks work just like your traditional physical banks. They're FDIC insured, your money is protected, and you can access your cash whenever you want. The real difference is one is online, one isn't. I have an account at an online bank and a physical bank where I keep most of my savings in my online bank because it pays me a better interest rate, while my checking account is at a traditional bank right now. One little caveat that I want to give you about these high interest savings account is that this high interest savings account is not a substitute to investing your money. This is just a way for you to save your money and get a little bit of a better return and not get all of your savings eaten away by inflation, because now this online bank account gives you a little bit of a better return. That way you can earn more money in your savings. Fourth, you can monetize your knowledge by selling a class online at Udemy or Skillshare or Coursera. These platforms are marketplaces for education. And so let's say you go out and you create a class on how to be good looking. Now you create this class one time and then you can put it on one of these platforms. Once it is on one of these platforms, if people search how to be good looking, your class might pop up and then they can purchase your class, and if people purchase this class or watch your class, then you will get paid. Now each platform works a little bit different as to how the actual monetization process works, but in general that's how it works. Kind of interestingly, Minority Mindset originally back in the day started on Udemy, because I was working on this other business at the time and I got scammed by this fake marketing company and I had lost a whole bunch of money. And after I lost this money, I went onto Udemy and I created this class called How to Launch a Business Without Getting Screwed Over. I charged like $7 for it. It's not available anymore, but people started enrolling in this class and it created this kind of passive income for a little while until I removed the class, because I created this class and I put it on Udemy and then people started buying it. Now, we've become more mature. Instead of me selling a class on Udemy, I ask you to smash that thumbs up button below. Number 5 is you can invest in crowdfunded real estate. The alternative to investing in physical rental properties, which can take a lot of money and a lot of time and a lot of effort, is to invest in crowdfunded real estate, where now you're investing in a fund which gives you exposure to a whole real estate investment portfolio. This is what crowdfunded real estate is, and as the properties in your portfolio become more valuable, you make more money, and as these properties make income from rent, you make some dividends. The great thing about crowdfunded real estate is you don't got to do any of the physical work. You don't got to find the property or do the renovation or deal with tenants. All you got to do is invest your money into this fund, and you don't need as much money to invest in crowdfunded real estate because you're not buying the whole property. You can invest a little bit of money and get a piece of the pie. Again, if you want to learn more about how to do this, I'm going to link some resources for you in the description below. Number 6 is you can sell an ebook on Amazon. If you like writing, this could be a great one for you, because the way this works is you're going to write a book. It doesn't have to be super long, but you're going to write this book and then you're going to get it published on Amazon as an ebook. You don't got to worry about getting a publisher or do all that marketing or anything. You just got to get it on Amazon. Once it's on Amazon, you can do a little bit of SEO work, so when people are searching topics related to your ebook will pop up, and then anytime somebody buys your ebook, they will be able to download it and you get your royalties. Depending on how good your book is and what the topic is, once you get it up and running, this could be a way for you to make a few $100s a month consistently without really having to do much work once it's listed. Number 7, rent out your car. If you have a car that you're not using all the time, you can use a platform like Turo and rent your car out to somebody else and let them pay you for using your car. You can add in whatever restrictions you want when people are driving your car, but if your car is just sitting there doing nothing, you might as well make some money off of it by letting somebody else drive it. Number 8, if you got some extra space, rent out your home. If you have a basement that you're not using, or an extra room like a guest room that you're not using, or you're not going to be home for a little while, you can use this space to generate you some passive income by listing the space on a platform like Airbnb or VRBO, because then somebody else can stay in your home, your property, your extra space, and they'll pay you for staying there. Number 9, so this one isn't exactly passive income, but it can be an easy way for you to save a lot of money. If you have a mortgage, you can refinance. The whole idea behind refinancing your mortgage is you're going to take a current loan and you're just going to move it to a new lender at hopefully a lower interest rate. So now you have the same loan as before, but you're just paying less money because interest rates hopefully came down when it came time for you to refinance. So you can save a whole lot of money. I mean, some people can save hundreds of thousands of dollars by doing nothing except just refinancing their mortgage. Again, if you want to learn more about how to do that the right way, I have some resources for you in the description below. Number 10, you can do peer-to-peer lending and get that passive income through interest. The way banks make money is by lending you money. If you borrow $100,000 from the bank and you spend 10 years paying it off, then over those 10 years, the bank is going to be getting passive income from the $100,000 that they gave you, because you're going to be paying interest to the bank every single month on the $100,000 that you borrowed. Well, you can copy the bank's model by doing peer-to-peer lending, where now you're using a platform, there's a bunch of these online, where you're lending your money to somebody else, and now somebody else is borrowing your money, so you give them your money, and then they're gonna do something else with it. Maybe they're gonna buy a car, or maybe they're gonna pay down their debt. They're gonna do something with your money, and then they're gonna pay you interest every single month until they pay your money back. Just like everything else, there is risk involved here. I mean, there's a risk that the person who's borrowing your money can default, but this is where you gotta do your own due diligence, find somebody good to lend your money to, and use a credible source. And if you do that, then this can be an easy way for you to generate passive income just by lending your money out. If you enjoyed this short clip from my longer videos, here's another clip that I think you'll love. And while you're at it, if you're interested in learning more about how to start generating passive income, our team put together an amazing guide that goes over what passive income is, how to start generating passive income, and different passive income strategies. All you gotta do is click that button right over there. Thank you for watching, and as always, keep hustling.